Hey everyone, this is Abaddon from 524 here, and today I am making a Guns of Glory video based on a Kingdom vs. Kingdom guide made by K71 Donovan, Jack of Blades. And here we're going to share some intermediate and advanced knowledge that will enable you to have an edge over combat. And our first topic up here is healing. So this will be everything about healing. Lots of resources, speed-ups, and troops are lost because players don't heal properly or unnecessarily lose more troops. First up is research. In the regular development tech tree, you can increase healing capacity, healing speed, and battlefield treatment. In the superior tech tree, you can increase additional hospital size greatly. However, this will consume scholar scrolls, and depending on your budget, you may want to spend those on something else. Second up is hospital buildings. This kind of speaks for itself. You can build up to 10, and they both increase your hospital size, the capacity, and the healing speed. If you have less than 10, you should really tear down a food, wood, iron, or silver slot and rebuild it into a hospital. That is definitely going to help you out long term. Next up, we have equipment. So as a non-rally garrison mega leader, you can wear a duelist boots, duelist ring, which help increase battlefield treatment, and a heart locket +5 for the extra hospital capacity. Battlefield treatment is the only stat that is not shared by the mega leader, so this is the most sensible thing to do. And in the right combo, you can get up to 80% battlefield treatment as a non-mega leader, just as a participant. And it's recommended to only participate from outside the forest due to the possibility of solo attacks. There's always somebody bigger than you, and it is not fun to get soloed if you're in the wrong gear. After a hit, it's a good idea to switch gear and to use the reduced healing cost and reduced healing speed. And the equipment for that is the iron helmet +5, ring of protection +5, and the trap stompers +5. Just by having your VIP level up, you can quick switch between the two tabs, hit a button, heal up your troops, speed them up, switch your gear back, and you're ready to take the next hit, or you're ready to join the next mega rally. Next up is Lord Talents, and appointing points to both war and balanced gives you a significant edge in respect to stats in both healing. Population Surge talent will cut down healing and training costs by 25%. And it's suggested here that if you have Life Preserver and Population Surge, that you have them on both the same talent set, because if you switch talent books, like if you manually switch the books with the VIP level 12, they instantly go onto cooldown. They don't remain active. That means you can also attack, heal, and attack and heal again in a 30-minute time frame while sustaining the least possible casualties. It's a really good idea. You can ask your king to activate the healing buff before the start of KvK in order to trim down the healing cost. And also, if the Doctor's Concern is triggered when you suffer enough losses, then it also gives a reduction in the healing cost. And what's really good to know is that the timer of the Guided Recovery King skill instantly resets when KvK starts, but the effect of it lasts while KvK has started. Also, the cooldown of the effect is exactly 1 week, so feel free to ask your king to start the Guided Recovery right after KvK. Also worth mentioning is the Alliance Healing Timer skill, which reduces healing time to 50% less. Now next up is VIP level. This gives healing cost reduction and hospital size, and if you haven't got a proper VIP level, you might want to consider upgrading it. Good idea for that is to buy the VIP points daily in the Spirit Mines. And if you hit the right combo, you can actually heal for free, and this sounds a little bit strange, but that's just because the percentages are stacked on each other until they hit 0. So unlike the timer reducer, which doesn't stack in such a way, you should really check this out, because if you care enough, you could make KvK very cheap while you're on, and while it comes to resource healing. You are already spending a lot of resources on the troop retraining, so any resources saved is really grateful to help out. So part 2, what are great strategies to invade or defend your kingdom? Number 1, if you're going to invade, rush the invasion right from the start. Knowledge weighs in heavily when you apply the strategy, though. If you rush an enemy kingdom and you take over their palace, they won't really have a time to build up the garrison benefits, and the chance is significant that the palace just won't be properly filled yet. And that way the invaded kingdom has to try to take their own kingdom back, because when you are in their kingdom and hold their throne, you get a protected bubble in your home kingdom. Pro to this is definitely breaks the morale for the defenders. If somebody's there 30 seconds, a minute into the invasion and already has your palace, a lot of people will just give up right away. Might minimize the losses if your big player goes and takes the kingdom right away. Palace won't be full. There won't be the garrison benefits, and you won't be fighting as big of an army. It also raises the shield over your kingdom. That kind of puts the fight on their doorstep, takes it away from your home. You don't really have to worry about your home too much. Some cons might result in a counter, because if it's unsuccessful and if your palace isn't filled yet, they might come and try to take your kingdom back. Another con is that losses can be really great for the attacker. Some people speed their troops in right away, some people send slow marches. Second strategy is to apply diplomacy. It can be very useful to appoint somebody who does all the talking. There's definitely going to be situations where you want to negotiate for a nap or team up with another kingdom to take out the third kingdom, and you might bluff and try to take out one kingdom and nap with the last one. and then just go invade them anyway at the end. Pro to this is that you use your mouth and you talk to people instead of sending your troops. Con is that it might make you a target, because if your diplomatic skills aren't very good, people might just come and attack you. And also, when more people are representing your kingdom, if there's too many people trying to negotiate, it can be counterproductive. Good idea is to have one person negotiate and one person do all the talking. Diplomacy may also be seen as a weakness, which may lead to your kingdom being prone to be a target. Next up is to focus on defense. So in general, and most of the successful strategies on defending your own kingdom, filling both the palace and the towers, make sure that they're all mega'd and re-mega'd in time. Pro to this is it makes it more difficult for you to be beat, decreases the chances of you being picked as a target. A con to this is that your losses can be great if the attackers are just stronger. It can get costly retraining those troops. And again, the 300% retrain does start right away if your KvK is over and you don't keep the crown. Another tip to help defending or conquering is to add double or triple spontaneous mega rallies. Good idea for this is you need to time those megas perfectly. We've been attacked in our kingdom, and if people don't time the mega, even if there's a 10-second lag between the first and the second mega rally hitting, that's plenty of time for us to speed in more troops. And if you're not going to break the mega rally leader and knock them out on the first hit, they'll already be full and ready for the next hit. So you need to make sure you time those perfectly. What are some good ways to determine your opponent's strength? Number one, you can check out the kingdom threat, the wolf. When you go into another kingdom, you can access your event center, go to kingdom threat, and check the high scores of your opponent. But be mindful that some of the big players might not hit the wolf. If they already have Lord Talent level 70, they don't really need the experience. They might be letting the other players in their kingdom get those top ranks for the experience, or they might just send weaker marches, so don't be fooled too easily. It's not a perfect determining factor for strength. Second up is to determine alliance power. You can check the alliance power and count the ones with the higher power. You can also see if everybody or most of the players are in one KvK alliance. Just one of the downsides for that is that power doesn't determine stats. They could have 500 million power and be maxed out, or they could have 5 billion power and still have 8k stats. Good idea is to join chat rooms. It's always great to keep yourself informed and chat with people from other kingdoms. I'm in quite a few chat rooms myself. It also kind of helps to add to general knowledge about a kingdom. And if you're going to ask for diplomacy, it helps to know some of the people that are there. Another way you can do is to count the stars. Now, this is a new factor. When a kingdom has lots of stars, it's strong. When it only has a few or none, probably weaker. It can be very useful when deciding when to rush the invasion. The stars are a new feature in the latest update and will help to contribute in a more fair way to matchmaking. And another way is kind of your recent win streak might affect the matchmaking. General tips and tricks next to the previous ones I've already mentioned. First, don't teleport in the forest if you're weak. And yes, you are weaker than you think. I'm talking to you, Chris B. No, there's always a bigger player. And even if you're strong or you think you're strong, unless you're 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 billion power, it's still dangerous. If you're facing a bigger player, someone with max stats, they will not hesitate to hit you, so be careful. Next up, don't farm in the forest. If you're using gathering tiles, even if you're in an enemy kingdom, people will try to hit you off it. They'll try to kill your troops. Easy way to get points. Another way to defend is to port your bubbled farms into the forest, and you can totally create a protective ring where the invaders can't land to attack. It definitely just, even if you're going to lose, it makes them use more gold. It's kind of an inconvenience because they're teleporting further away. They're sending a mega from further away. But also make sure you rebubble if KvK takes longer than anticipated. Everyone will have their eyes on such farms, and if they see somebody come unbubbled in the forest, I guarantee you they're going to get hit really quickly because people want those points. Next up, send reinforcements slowly to buildings, even if they're full, okay? If it takes 10 minutes to send a march, just send a full march anyway. You never know if somebody's going to port in. Bigger player, just go to solo everything. And if you already have a march on the way, if you go to speed it, you'll get there way quicker. You also want to make sure you pick your battles. You might be victorious, but keep in mind at what cost. When you've conquered a lot of kingdoms in a row, you will end up with a really tough matchup, which almost might result in a predetermined loss. So if you're going to keep conquering a lot of kingdoms, just keep that in mind. Also, don't forget to show devotion. Sending troops to buildings when you aren't willing to wager and stay in the buildings may result in either an internal war or just your castle getting burned. Like, for example, if you're sitting in a palace and your palace is getting mega'd, and at the last second you say, I don't want to lose my troops, and you pull, you could cause your entire team to lose all their troops. You can also use the enemy eviction alliance strategy if possible. You can evict one of the people that is either leading the rally or one of the other castles around it. Also, it's a good idea if you have extra strong players, go to reset other kingdoms often. It'll redirect their focus, and they'll focus on their own defense, and it will enable you to buy time if there aren't many people online to hold the enemy palace. Resetting other kingdoms as much as possible is a good idea. It redirects the focus off of your kingdom, helps you focus on your own defense. You think somebody's going to come and attack you, it gives you a little bit more time because they're focused on their own kingdom. People will most likely turn and go to help their own kingdom first. Planning to go invade another kingdom later, you want to reset them at least one time so that it resets their timer. Well, viewers, that is all for today. Please make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Also, if you want to comment, feel free to. We will be checking the comments. If you have any questions, we will be replying to them, giving you more in-depth answers. If we missed anything, if you want another video, let us know. I'm happy to do a part 2, more in-depth, if you guys would like. So for now, so long and bye-bye.